Hi everyone, and welcome back to Radical Lifestyle. Today I'll be sharing with you a really easy vegan recipe. It's made with something called soya chunks, which is a byproduct of soya beans. The recipe is an Indo-Chinese recipe, so it blends in both Indian and Chinese flavors. If you don't want to use soya chunks, you can substitute that with chicken or fish. Let's take a look at the ingredients and jump right into the recipe. Alright, so start off, we are going to soak the soya chunks. So I got my package of soya chunks here. They're all very crispy. And I've got a bowl of really hot water. So we're gonna soak these soya chunks into this hot water for about 15 minutes. Okay, so just make sure they're all submerged. Make sure your water is really hot, so that will help make it soft faster. Alright, so I'm going to move this to the side, and while we wait for the soya to finish soaking, we're going to chop up our veggies that we need. So I've got about 3 medium onions cut into half. And I've got my spring onions and I've got my bell peppers. So we're gonna start with the onions first. And you wanna cut these into fairly large size cubes. So what I like to do is I like to cut the onions into wedges first. All right, I don't know if you can see, so each piece is about this big, so like that. Then I like to go in the other way and then just cut it right in half, and that's it. You want approximately this big a size of onions. All right, so I'm going to do that with the rest of the onions. Okay, the onions are done. I'm going to move them to my bowl here. Next, we're going to start with our bell peppers. I'm only going to use 2 bell peppers. So let's start by cutting this off. These also you're going to cut into about the same size as the onions. And you want to remove these seeds also. There might be easier ways to cut this, but this is the way I'm used to. And I feel like this gives me just about the right width I want for my chili soya. Okay. So we're cutting it about the same length as the onions. I'm gonna take an onion here for reference. So you want it just about the same, so that they're equal. And it looks nice also in the curry. Okay. Now I'm going to move this into the same bowl as my onions. Next, we'll be cutting the spring onions. You can do this now, or you can wait until you're about to put it into the pan, but you can, for the sake of keeping everything ready, you can do it now itself. So when you're cooking, you're only going to use the white parts. The green part you're only going to use while you're garnishing. So I'm just going to separate the white part now. I'll save the green part for later when I'm garnishing. these you're just going to cut into just small circles like this. Alright, so it's been about 15 minutes and I'm going to move these to another pot. So what you need to do is take a few in your hand, like a handful, and squeeze out all the excess water. We don't want any water left in the soya. And just transfer them to another bowl. Now that I've gotten all my soya onto another pan, now it's time to marinate the soya chunks. So first I'm going to use salt. I'm going to use salt to your taste. And then we're going to take about half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. Next, we're going to take 1 tablespoon of Kashmiri red chili powder. You can use red chili powder also, but it makes it more spicy and you don't get that rich red color. So that's why I like to use the Kashmiri chili. So it's not that spicy and you get that nice red color. So this is about 1 tablespoon. Next, we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of ginger garlic paste. This is half a tablespoon, so I'm gonna add 2 of this. Next, we're gonna add some corn flour. So this is 200 grams of soya chunks. So I'm gonna add half a cup of corn flour to this. This corn flour is going to make or is going to help the soya chunks become crispy when you're going to fry them. So now we mix everything together. Make sure everything is coated evenly. Alright, so now everything is evenly coated. Alright, all of the soya chunks have the corn flour, the spices, all mixed well. So next step is that we're going to fry these, deep fry them. So I'm going to move over to the next station and I'll join you then. Alright, I got my pan here for deep frying. I'm going to add just enough oil to deep fry these soya chunks. We're going to do them in batches, so you're just going to need a little bit of oil for this. Alright, the oil is hot. I'm just going to drop them in one by one so that they don't all splatter. Trying to make sure all the sides are cooked evenly and fried. You're going for that crispy, golden brown, almost reddish color. Alright, so these are just about done. This is the color you want it to be. Alright, drain out the excess water. Now I've got another bowl sitting there on the side with a paper towel in so that it'll soak any extra oil. fried and nice and crispy on the outside and nice and soft on the inside. Now we're going to make the gravy. So I've got another non-stick pot here. I'm going to add some cooking oil. Once the oil is hot, I'm going to add half a tablespoon, sorry, of ginger garlic paste. We're going to fry that for a little bit until that raw taste and that raw smell is gone. You can set it down to the lower flame because this tends to cook or burn really fast. And watch out, it splatters a lot, so be careful of that. Alright, so now that the raw smell is gone, we're going to add the bell pepper and the onions. Now I'm going to turn the heat back up to around medium flame. And we're going to cook this until they soften up a little bit, the onions. I don't want to burn them or turn them brown, so just a little translucent. That's what we're going for here. But make sure you mix in the ginger garlic paste really well to the onions. Alright, my onions are ready. I'm going to turn the heat down to the lowest setting. Now I'm going to start adding my sauces. I'm going to start with vinegar first. So just 1 teaspoon of vinegar. Next we have soy sauce. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. You can add later if you feel you need a little bit more of that taste. But for now, I'm just adding just 2 teaspoons. And next, just a little bit of ketchup. Or if you don't have ketchup, you can use tomato paste or tomato sauce as well. Okay, now that all the sauces are added, let's turn the heat back up to a medium and mix everything well. To this, now I'm going to add the chopped up spring onions we had here. Let's give that also a nice mix. Next, we're going to add some salt and then some black pepper. And mix it up with everything. Next, I'm going to add a little bit more of the Kashmiri chili powder. And this is, of course, depending on how spicy you want it. So I just added about 1 tablespoon of it right now. And now everything is nicely fried and sauteed. Not fried, they're sauteed. And I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of corn flour. So there's 1/4 cup of water and heated it up and added a tablespoon of corn flour. This is going to give it that thick, glacy gravy that we want. so. I'm just gonna add this straight in. And we want to mix it really well. You can add a little bit more water because we want it like a little bit of a thick gravy. So I'm just going to add a splash more of water. Okay, I'm going to turn the heat back up. Then the next thing, we're going to add our soya pieces. Okay, try not to get the little crumbs in, but you want to get all of the big pieces in. And now we're going to give everything a mix. Make sure you coat all of the soya chunk pieces with our gravy. I can feel that corn flour mix working. You can see that glaziness starting to form. So now you can present this in two ways, either as an appetizer or as part of a main course. Now if you want to serve it as an appetizer, this is it. You're done. You can just check the salt and make sure everything is fine, and this is it, you're done for the starters. Now I'm going for the main course. So I want it a little bit more thick with the gravy. So I'm adding a little bit more water. Okay. This is about what I want right now. Alright, so I added a little bit more water to this to give it that gravy consistency. And you're almost done. So now this is almost done. Everything is cooked, the salt is perfect, the spice is perfect for me. And remember I said we're going to use the other green part of the spring onion. So I have it right here, all chopped up. I'm going to turn my stove off because we're done cooking, and then I'm just going to sprinkle this on the top. And just give it one last mix. And you're done. That's it.
If you like this video, make sure to check out my channel for more videos just like this. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.